do not change yourself to fit in a job. Understand what the job requirements are, what would make the CEO fly, like jump up and down with excitement, add value, and that's enough for you to keep your job.
Hello, welcome to the One Percenter podcast. This is your host, Sam Bakhtiar, and I have none other than Megan Pormer in the house. For those of you who don't know she's a world-renowned international model, a doctor. She has her PhD, and she's now on a quest to show that you can totally have both, the best of both worlds, the beauty and the brains. And also she's dedicated her life in helping people look better, feel better, and becoming the best version of themselves. Welcome, Megan.
Thank you so much for having me. I've been wanting to be on your podcast for a while. Took a minute, huh?
Yeah, and you know what? I appreciate it, man. You're definitely worth the wait. And I want to just dig into your story first. Let's talk about Megan in your childhood, where you grew up, and how it all came about.
I was born in a beautiful family in Iran, grew up between Iran, Dubai, and Turkey because my father was working in between all those three countries. And then my parents sent me to boarding school in England, where I did my high school and then went to university and graduated from a PhD in biomedical engineering, which I did solely for my dad. Not because I was, they say youth is wasted on the young. Unfortunately, I wasn't smart enough to know that I'm basically changing my entire future by getting that degree. And I'm so grateful to my father for forcing me to get through it.
That is so crazy because I actually got my degree. I got my doctorate degree from my mother.
I know, my mother, we all do it. I think it runs in the culture, right? We gotta give it to our parents.
My mom says, Sam, you can only be three things in life: doctor, lawyer, engineer, and if not,
that was literally the ultimatum I received from my father.
And my mom walked away. She said, "I prefer you become a doctor," and she walked away. And I'm like, so that was quest, and I'm so glad, like you said, that we're there. But here's the thing, you're on the quest to show that the world that, hey, you can be an international model. I mean, gosh, I was looking at your profile. I lost how many cover of the magazines you've been in. Oh my God, you've been in some of the most prestigious magazines, cover some of the most prestigious magazines out there. But yet, you are a doctor, you're a PhD, and that's totally not the stereotype. And you're breaking that stereotype that, woman can be beautiful and still be respected and still be smart.
Correct. Okay. So it all started when I started my career as a biotech DNA testing specialist, and I was the face of a DNA testing company that they were doing DNA testing for hereditary cancer predisposition, right? And while I was the face of that company, I found myself pretty lost in terms of the way I had to behave, what I had to wear, how I should turn myself into a corporate girl, and which meant dressing a certain way, not dressing in things that would show my, curves or features, or not wearing too much makeup, no hair down, no big high heels, no sexy outfits. And I couldn't convince myself that is the way it should be. And I did go through a lot because the whole company they're like, oh, you dress a certain way, you also model at the same time. Like, they couldn't really wrap their heads around it, but I couldn't accept that only because I'm educated, I should not look sexy. Only because I want to be a boss and I want to be a serious businesswoman, I shouldn't look sexy. And like, a lot of people told me, yeah, like when you go to meetings, if I don't know, you're wearing too much perfume, or your outfit is pretty sexy, then it's distracting from men to focus on your brains. And you know what I told them? I said, then they have to change their brains. Because the truth is, when I go to a meeting, I don't care if the guy is in a suit and tie, or is in swim shorts, or actually, quite frankly, every time we have a big investor meeting, these big investors, they all show up in their like Hawaiian shirt with like swim shorts, and they're like, all sitting on their island, and we still got to take them seriously. There's still, it doesn't take away from the fact that they're a big investor. Why shouldn't the roles be reversed? Why can't I be a sexy woman coming out of the editorial shoot, and I am still the educated businesswoman that you must take seriously? And if you get distracted by what I'm wearing, it's your problem, not mine.
Yeah, I mean, wow. So what happened? What happened? Obviously, did you leave that job because of it, or I can see that. I mean, you want to be, every woman want to feel sexy, and they want to be, they want to be feminine, but in a corporate world, you got to be all covered up. You got to look a certain way. So you felt like you were in a cage. You couldn't be who you are. You couldn't be true to yourself.
Exactly, and it breaks my heart when I watch TV and I see all of these incredible politicians, like people that are female CEOs of big healthcare companies, and I can see that they're forcing themselves to look less feminine, less sexy, and adopt a whole masculine energy. And I refuse to do that. I absolutely refuse to. And a lot of people told me, oh, you want to be a successful woman, you need to step into your masculine energy a little more and be less feminine, less soft. I don't want to do it. I want to stay soft. I want to stay feminine, and I still want to be a boss and be taken seriously. And you don't take me seriously, I will prove you wrong.
Well, I don't want to be on the other side of a fight with you. That's for sure. You look like you can handle your own. So what happened to what happened to that job?
Okay, the job went pretty well until one day the general counsel of the company, who unfortunately was a woman, sent an email to the founder, which got back to me, and it said, we don't care how many PhDs one may have, as long as they look like a Victoria's Secret model and they do modeling work, we don't want to be associated with them. Sam, the day I saw that email, it was game over. And you know what? Quite frankly, from the depth of my heart, I'm grateful for that woman, because it made me realize that even if I try, I'm not going to succeed in changing myself. So I may as well fully embrace it and start bringing so many opportunities to different corporations and different companies that they would have to put up with the fact that I want to stay feminine. And soon that will change the culture, because the culture change doesn't happen unless somebody goes out there and actually implements it in their day-to-day life. So people actually understand that, oh, maybe this is how it should be. And if all it takes, if what it takes to create that culture of changes for me to, I don't know, be a little bit shamed here and there, kind of some people to kind of want to, come across a little disrespectful, saying, if you're a doctor, why are you in lingerie? If you're on Maxim, why are you a doctor? I don't care. Let them.
Yeah, Megan, whenever somebody shames you or whatever, you have haters, that means you're going in uncharted territory. That means you're doing something. One of my mentors told me, Sam, if you don't piss somebody off by noon, you're not doing something. You're not doing enough.
Exactly.
So when you said that, I was laughing, because I remember my mom one time, she had an accident. She had a little car accident, and she was rushed to the hospital. This was 15 years ago. I was still in school, probably more than that, 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in the gym working out in shorts and tank top. And they said, oh, your mom is in the hospital. So I rushed, to the hospital. My mom is in the hospital bed. I show up in shorts and tank top in the hospital. And my mom says, Sam, why you look like that? And I'm going like, what do you mean? She's old school person.
I know.
So what do you look at? I go, what do you mean? She goes, you're going to be a doctor. She goes, why you wear shorts and tank top to the hospital? I said, Mom, with all due respect, I'm here as your son. I'm not doing the surgery on you. The other person is your doctor. I'm here as your son. And she hated, like, anytime, like, but that's the old school way of thinking. And also, you got to remember, unfortunately, the corporate world is a male-dominated world still. It's changing.
Yeah.
It's changing, though. It's changing, and when you work in a male-dominated world, it's almost like they can't comprehend. That oh, there's a beautiful woman that's sexy, yet she's powerful, yet she's intelligent.
Yeah. You know how you can change your mind? You make money moves. You bring them good business deals. You bring them big investors. You bring them big distribution deals. And if they still can't get their heads wrapped around your sexuality, they have to think differently.
So I'm sure there's so many stories where, you came to the corporate world and men just couldn't take it. There was, or they started, hitting you up, and all that kind of stuff. Is there anything in particular that you can share with us that you had to check somebody, based on?
Yeah.
I would love to know. I know there's probably dozens and dozens of it, but I would like to know one of them.
Yeah. So every time that happens, which happens a lot, I immediately say, okay, so what area are you at? Like, I get to know, I try to understand their business background, which they don't really want to share with you because they assume young girl, LA actress model, oh, bimbo, what do you understand from the business world? So you have to kind of try your best to get them to tell you about their business. So they tell you about their business. I'm trying to educate myself as much as I can. So no matter what business you have, I will find a way to bring something to the table that will be so valuable to you that would you feel ashamed to look at me as a bimbo. Yeah. And I still dress the way I want to dress. Yeah. So that's my way of creating a new culture, by adding value. Like instead of victimizing myself, oh look, they're all sexualizing me, whatever. No, that's not the way to create culture. That's not the way to change their mindset. Bring something to the table that would be so valuable that people would be willing to change their own mindset for you. So that's my way of dealing with all these idiots. I'm sorry to say that, but in that case, let me tell you something. My father told me something a while ago. I didn't quite understand it until recently. He said, women love men and men love themselves. Unfortunately, this is so true. So true. And then I realized that the way to change this culture and make men to really serve their purpose, which is getting behind women, like being like the sun and really shine on them. The only way to achieve that is by bringing value and adding value, bringing something to the table. Sometimes even bringing the damn table,
Wow. I love that, man. Where's your father now? Is he in LA too with you?
He passed away 10 years ago.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
So I have a legacy I got to continue his legacy. He wanted me to create this. Imagine, my father was a Middle Eastern man, yet so open-minded. He said, Megan, I want you to change that whole mindset that a woman cannot do both. I'm behind you. You're a doctor, but do your modeling job. Because I used to, I was the UN ambassador since age 5 for children's rights. He's like, I get behind you. You do your modeling. You do your acting. You do whatever you want. All I want is your degree, your graduate. I want to come to your graduation at your university. I'm like, done deal, So we added value to each other.
That is so. So what are you doing today to empower women and to be the voice of reason for the corporate world to change that stereotype?
You know what I want? I want a sexy Victoria's Secret looking model as our president. I want our president to be a female, badass, educated woman that looks smoking hot. That's what
it will happen. I don't know if it will happen in our lifetime though, Megan. I would vote for her. But definitely. I think it will happen. I don't know if it's going to happen in a lifetime. Do you think it's going to happen in our lifetime?
Oh yeah, it's going to happen in less than a decade from now.
Are you sure?
Oh yeah.
I love it. Now, I know. Just talk about a little bit about some of the magazines and some of the modeling that you've done for our audience.
So my modeling career started when I started commercializing DNA testing on big television shows. And then I got this offer from Women's Health magazine. They honored me to be the first person who's connecting the medical world to Hollywood. Because I feel like my purpose in life is always connecting two worlds together. Connecting the medical world to Hollywood, connecting the Middle East, the East to the West, connecting women to the making women be taken more seriously in the corporate world or in the political world. So my modeling career started as that, biomedical engineer who likes to also, look kind of feminine and embrace her sexuality. And then from there, I started getting offers to walk in runway shows and fashion shows and different beauty brands and fashion brands. And I got a movie deal. Then, so it kind of snowballed from there. And to this date, the only way that I can mentally feel balance is that I dip into the world of the glitz and the glam of Hollywood and enjoy playing dress up and enjoy feeling like a princess. And then I go back to my purpose, which is the medical world and helping people, staying healthy, because nothing matters more than your health. And I feel like if I'm lucky enough to be young, healthy, talented, and slightly sexy woman, if I'm not adding value to other people, shame on me, waste of life. You know what I mean? And I want women to feel that way. I don't want beautiful girls to feel entitled that only because they're beautiful and young and sexy, they should have the world in the palm of their hands. No, we're all responsible to add value to this world. We're not just sitting there waiting for a man to provide. If we're not adding value to the world, we're not serving our purpose.
Wow, and I can certainly see your passion. So you see that how passionate you are about that.
I know.
And what projects are you working on right now that you are totally excited about?
Okay, so I'm the face of Arab Fashion Council and Hollywood Beauty Awards, which means I'm bringing beauty and fashion brands from the Middle East to America and American brands to the Middle East. Yes. That's the first thing I'm doing. The second thing, I'm going to start shooting a movie in Turkey end of August. Let's see, with all the COVID stuff. Yes. Let's see, that's been pushed back a couple times here and there. I'm involved with 8 wellness companies, health and wellness companies. One is a company in Orange County. They're working on immunotherapy for cancer and potentially developing a cancer vaccine.
Wow.
And the other one is a company that provides a great support system for people that are struggling with mental health illnesses. And then I have 4 other ones that are all pharmaceutical. So we're working on different pharmaceutical drugs. And my ultimate baby is that I am blessed. I cannot share too much, but I'm running a political campaign.
Wow, I wouldn't expect that. I mean, I didn't expect that. I mean,
but let's see how far that will go. Like, I only told you a little bit of it because because I'm already getting right and left that I dressed too sexy and my suit was a little too, tight. Let's see how far that will go. I'm gonna share all the details with you. I promise you.
I can't. Wow. I was like, wow. I expected every other one, but wow. Okay. This is amazing. You let me know. You let me know and how I can support you and and everything. So a personal question, because I see you on the cover and I watched a couple of your videos. You stay in great shape year round. So what is your I'm a fitness guy. So what is your workout routine looks like? What does your diet looks like? What do you do to stay in great shape? Or is Megan just genetically gifted?
So obviously I understand the in and out of the DNA testing industry, right? So I did a wellness test on myself. So I know exactly how to work around my genes. So I know what food I'm not going to digest well, what I do digest well, how much exercise I should do to stay in good shape, but also I'm not one of those that works out like crazy.
Yes.
No, I'm not. I cannot lie. I'm not. Okay. But I do enough that I know my body is staying healthy, and it's a great amount. Like, I do well with Pilates. I do well with yoga. You gotta go gentle on me. And it's all based on my DNA. So I look at my results and I customize the plan for myself. that I can eat whatever I want, exercise however I want, but it will match my DNA, which is what I believe in. Like I say, get to know yourself in and out. Get to know yourself so well that you can understand your own blueprint, physically, emotionally, mentally, and then you customize a nice workout plan around it. But I eat Persian food, I eat my rice, okay? I do eat my rice, I cook, and workout, I love Pilates. I have a thing for Pilates, like I just love it so much. And what else I do? I think the best way to stay in shape is to really make sure that you're not sitting in one place while working. You got to go from one to another, and in between, I always make sure I do a little jog. I try to use every opportunity to go for a nice jog in between meetings. First of all, it gets you shake off all that passion and all the little, stress you might be feeling. And it also helps you with staying in shape.
So Megan, do you have a personal trainer?
Do I have what?
Do you have a personal trainer, or you just do it yourself because you already figured everything out?
I've already figured everything out.
Love it. I love it. And I know I see now more companies that doing, DNA tests and give you a specialized program based on your DNA, which you probably knew were ahead of your time because you were in the front lines of that. And now I see some companies that do all that kind of stuff. Awesome. Mm-hmm. What do you say to someone, to a woman who's coming up, and they want to be feminine, but they're going into the corporate world, and they're kind of scared that they might lose their job, nobody can take them seriously. What would you say to them? Because obviously, you have made a career out of doing this, but another woman can say, hey man, I cannot afford to lose my job. I cannot afford to not be taken serious. I'm basically going into the wolf's den. What am I going to do?
So, okay, this is what I would say. It doesn't matter how much a job is paying you. If you have to go way out of your authentic way to fit that job, even if they give you money, you're going to have to spend that money on your mental health.
So true, so true.
So you're going to end up trying to change yourself to fit into a box, and then because you get paid, right? So then you spend all that money to feel mentally healthy and stable. So then I say, do not change yourself to fit in a job. Understand what the job requirements are, what would make the CEO jump up and down with excitement, add value, and that's enough for you to keep your job versus changing yourself. Because by changing yourself, you lose, and it's not ever authentic, and you're not serving your life purpose.
Yeah.
Be you, add value, understand what other people need, and give that to them. You don't have to change yourself. It's exactly like if I feel like, imagine if somebody's hungry, right? You have two choices. One, trying to make yourself feel hungry so you can be on the same level with them, even though you just ate. So just say, I'm hungry, I gotta be hungry. Or you can be full, just make some damn food and give it to them. You know what I mean?
Persians, we don't do that, right? It's called tarof, right?
I know, we keep feeding them, right?
I could be, I could be starving at my aunt's house, or they can say, oh no, I still don't want none, or I could be full and my aunt still will feed me.
I know.
Yeah, tarof nakor.
I know. I sometimes do that to Westerners, forgetting that they don't know about the culture, and they look at me like the person's full. I'm like, no, please eat a little more rice, and they're like.
So you went to boarding school in England. It's so funny because my dad went to boarding school in England as well. And
it's a prestigious thing Persians do.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's like they're like those the most prestigious things you could do back then, right?
Yeah.
And my dad went to boarding school, and I'm like, what do you mean you sent to boarding school? I told my grandpa, I'm like, you didn't want to see your son or what? But what
I couldn't speak English when they sent me to boarding school.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I saw a couple of your videos, And you speak like pretty fluently Farsi.
Of course.
But I mean, like, how old were you when you went to boarding school and you've been here?
Well, initially we moved out of Iran when I was 7, but when I went to boarding school, I was 14. But here's the thing. In my head, I still communicate with my dad, and I speak to him in Farsi. You know?
Got it. You know, because I'm pretty fluent in Farsi, but not as fluent as you. Because when I was watching some of your videos, I'm like, wow, you were going and going and going. I'm like, I would have to like pause and say a word in English and go back and, you know. So I'm proud of you, Megan. I'm proud of you for many things, for being a strong woman, for being a beautiful woman, for being an educated woman, for representing the Persians, and going out there. You know, I want to tell you that that you have greatness coming to you, and I'm going to be rooting for you for your politics in the future and everything else that you're doing. Now, for those people who don't know you and they want to find out more about you, I mean, gosh, you got like over 2 million followers on Instagram, and so many different things. How can they connect with you?
I respond to every single DM I receive.
I know that. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it, but
no matter how busy I am, 2 hours a day is dedicated to my followers. Even if I have to stay up an additional 2 hours, and I check them myself. I don't have an admin. I sometimes leave voice messages because in the end of the day, who am I without the support of other people? Nobody. And who am I unless I'm adding value to the people that are giving me the honor of following me? Yeah. So if you DM me on @MeganPormer Instagram, I'm at your service, no matter how busy I am. And this is gonna be for the rest of my life. That's a promise I made to God, my father, and to myself, that I will never forget that I'm a nobody without people's support.
Wow. How many people with over 2 million followers will say that? None. How many doctors will say that? None. How many supermodels will say that? None. You're all 3 of those. And the fact that you have such a big heart, and that you care about people, you want to empower people, you want to empower women, and you want to change this world. It says so much about you and your character, Megan. And I want to thank you for your time and for being on the show. And I'm going to be sitting on the sideline watching you go to the top.
And men like you are all women like me, or people that are really rooting to feel that they have a chair at the table. That's all we need. Men like you that are willing to get behind us and be the, I always say, the man is the sun and the woman's the earth. And we need your sun, your light to shine on us. Yeah. And in the end of the day, men like you are the people that are going to help us create this whole female empowerment move and create a new culture. Thank you so much.
Hey guys, if you liked today's episode, do me a huge favor. Go and leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel, leave me a review, and tag a few friends that you think can benefit from what we shared today. Really appreciate it. God bless.